got the
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Well, it's already over? Oh, my gosh. Play it again. I'm not used to this. Welcome in, Suns Planeteers. We're used to a much longer intro than that, aren't we? But we are joined for the annual Aussie Suns Fans hostile takeover of the Suns Planet. Welcome in to Gav. Welcome in to Boyd. And look who's back from sabbatical for just a moment. He said, hey, time change? Count me in. I can convince the missus. So, how you doing, Kev?
great. The kid's actually right beside me crying. So apologies if you're going to hear some baby crying. But I'm worry. Good. I'm especially excited.
Yeah, reflective of Suns fans lately anyway.
Yeah, but happy to be back here. Yeah, you can hear it, right?
We're used to Boyd like wrangling multiple children on air, so this is going to be perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, but enough of me. We have our special guests.
Yeah, we'll turn it over to them. Gav, welcome in. So you actually have to work right up until Christmas? You're one of those
mate. I'll be working all next week, which will be fun. I'm going to try and the back half of next week try to pull it back a little bit and cruise, but yeah, you don't get that opportunity. And thanks to Kevin too for the intro for the special, because Boyd really is special. He's everyone's special favorite piece of shit. Aren't you, Boyd?
Yes, well, yeah, apparently, mate. You can't be so mean to me on joint podcast, mate.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Kevin needs to invest in them little safety kid locks for his cupboards. I just chuck mine in there before a pod nowadays. That's where they are now. Put a bowl of water in there, chuck them on there, the little kid locks. You can buy them just from your local grocery store. They're fucking everywhere. Anyway.
Isn't that what's supposed to keep them out of your cupboards? You're locking them in there?
Works both ways.
Yeah, no, lock them in the cupboard.
It doesn't say it on the packaging, but it does.
That's what you got cupboards for.
Right.
Safe storage of your children.
Yes.
I'm just imagining the Christmas classic, at least here, is a Christmas Story where they play it 24 hours on a loop on TNT. And there's a little scene where the main character's little brother, he goes and he hides underneath the kitchen sink when he wants to be alone, and his mom hears a little boy crying and opens the cupboard and sees a little boy crying in there. She's like, "Oh, you want some milk?" And she just hands him a glass of milk and closes the cupboards back on. And oh yeah, that's pretty much hey, it's homey. That's what it is. It's a nice little spot.
It's the way it should be done. It's the way it should be done. Thanks for having us on. We're excited to be part of the Suns Planet for today. Been loving the work, and especially you guys bringing together Suns fans from all over the world. So well done, and we're excited to be here.
Well, I think we're all a little bit more excited because we actually won a game.
Yeah, everything's right with the world again. Everything is right with the world again.
Exactly. All you need is a win against the 15 Utah Jazz, 5-19. Yeah,
doesn't matter as long as it's a win, right?
That's pretty right. Yeah. Let me announce to the Planeteers, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I've got a cup of tea, believe it or not. And so if you see me start to shake and get the chills or sweating because of a fever, then you know what's going on. It's not the drug use, at least not this time. But yeah, so I'm going to be leaning on our guests a little bit here. And you guys already covered, because you guys usually go Saturday night stateside time, later on Sundays usually. So you guys already covered the Miami Heat game, which let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll talk about a player from that team that we're a little bit interested in. But we ended up losing 111-121 last Saturday in what was just kind of a continuation of bad vibes. That was the second in a row on our way to Orlando after that game, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But the Miami Heat, once again, Phoenix Suns were without Kevin Durant, which means basically you're going to lose every time. Is that let's start with there, because you guys already kind of went in depth on it last show. Can this team win it all without Kevin Durant? I mean, besides the one Jazz win we did win earlier in the year, can we win anything significant?
You want to go, Boyd, or do you want me to go? You want me to go? Yeah,
You go.
the short answer.
Nelly here.
The short answer, yeah, let the negative guy go first. The short answer is yes, they can win. The long answer is they can't win unless everybody on that team pulls their finger out and plays the game properly. And the problem that we've had during the losing streaks without Kevin Durant is our defense drops off. There's a lack of effort on both ends of the floor. And when you look at those, in particular, those two games on that road trip, we had two stars that are part of or forming a big three. There was two of them on the floor, and neither of them pulled their finger out and did their job. That's as cut and dry as it was. The support players performed, our stars didn't, and it cost us 2 games of basketball.
Look, yes, we should be able to. We fucking definitely should be able to. And we look at the iterations of what the Phoenix Suns have been throughout the years with Devin Booker and his, his lack of supporting cast, and then we've just been getting better and better and better and putting players around him. And it just felt like, honestly, what it felt like was that Booker lost his killer instinct and his, it's like he got too happy on the farm, or he was a little bit too used to the brilliant gravity that KD brings when he plays with this team, it was just all a little bit too hard. Then I would have really liked to have seen us actually win before KD got back, just to sort of prove that wrong and set the ship right. But no, now we have to fucking wait until he gets injured again before we can feel good about the rest of this fucking team, don't we? And we have to wait for an injury to feel good inside.
Exactly.
Shit.
Kev, what do you think?
Or he could just stay healthy for the remainder of the year, and that would also work.
Right.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
One.
That is right, gentlemen. And just to point out Boyd's or Gab's point there, the defensive, the Suns offense, especially if Bradley Beal is playing, those two are playing, even without Kevin Durant, they're just fine, right? It's the defense really, especially in the second half when teams get really physical. I believe in these 3 games, two games, they were up at the half, right? And then until they get punked in the second half, the team gets really physical with them, and they just lose their composure and all that. And to point the defensive struggles, the Suns' defensive rating was 123 without Kevin Durant this season, and their defense is just much better with KD on the floor at 113 every time he plays. So that's just a big drop when he's out.
Yeah, and it's far too large a discrepancy. 113 to 123 is far too large a discrepancy, and it's not the fact that we can't play defense. It's the fact that the energy drops off on the defensive end when KD's not playing. And once the energy drops off on the defensive end, we see it over and over again, and we've seen it during this last couple of weeks with KD out. The energy drops off on the defensive end, therefore the energy on the offensive end drops off. The ball slows down. We don't push the tempo of the game. We're going back into ISO crap shots, and Devin Booker just did not want to grab a game by the scruff of its neck and win the game. It's as simple as that. And then you flip to yesterday's game, and you could see the look in Booker's eye yesterday was the look we've all been waiting for all year. He didn't give a flying stuff who else was in that team. When he got that ball and he had the open shot, he was going to hit it. And he had the killer look yesterday. And thank fuck it came back, because it was starting to get a little bit worrying that it's taken this long into the season for him to get it.
Yeah, Bradley Beal ended up in this Heat game scoring just 15 points, 5 of 18, 0 for 6 from 3. Devin Booker, maybe better, scored 21 points. He was 6 for 16, 1 for 6 from 3. He at least got himself to the foul line where he went 8 for 8. He also collected 7 assists. Boyd, are you surprised that Bud has not put something together for when Durant is out yet? I mean, it just seems kind of like Gav was getting at, ISO lazy offense when you have somebody like you have Bradley Beal and Booker on the court at the same time. Are you frustrated that they haven't found a way to have those two guys play comfortably? Like they play comfortably together when Durant's out there, but when Durant's out, you've got two stars that can't seem to play well together.
Yeah, look, it's something that's I think it's out of Bud's hands. I think he's doing a great job offensively with this team, but I feel like there's a lot of how do you instill give a fuck into someone and into egos this big when you think about all the hype around the Suns and the just a general NBA stars ego. You're like, what gets them up and out of bed and fucking hungry and that killer look in their eye? It's not fucking Coach Bud. It's not. And last year it wasn't fucking Vogel, obviously either. But yeah, look, it's definitely on the players for mine. I don't think there's anything more that Bud can really be doing. But yeah, it's frustrating to see. It is.
Can you do me a favor, Jake? Can you just put up that comment from Michael again?
Yeah. Right there.
Because I've seen this. I see this a lot, and it's all over Twitter. This team is not mid without KD. Their effort is.
Yes.
There is enough talent on that team that they should be competitive whether KD's on the floor or not. The team is not mid. Their effort is mid. And that's the thing that's rolled out. But can we move on to the Utah game and start talking about the fact that we're winning again? Because I feel like we're just rehashing all the poor juju from last week.
Well, yeah. We'll do a quick snapshot then of the Orlando Magic game because it was a Florida trip, right? We flew out there so we could collect a couple losses in Orlando and Miami, and the game against the Orlando Magic without two of the Magic's best players, without Franz Wagner and without Paolo Banchero, the Magic go on to defeat the Phoenix Suns 115-110. Again, it was kind of a continuation of frustration, except you could argue this time at least Bradley Beal, 8 for 12, scored 18. This was the bad Booker game, 8 for 21, and just kind of the rest of the team not as hot. And of course, I think one thing, Kev, you tell me, this team, as much hate as we were giving Yusuf Nurkic earlier this year, which I think was just a natural Suns thing. Like when we started this year, 8-1, something like that, 9-1.
Yeah.
It was amazing how we still had time to trash with that opening record because we're like, you know what, this team is amazing, except that Yusuf Nurkic guy. And Nurk is out, KD is out, but does Nurk really bring something? I mean, it doesn't have to specifically be this game, but I'm just kind of curious. I mean, we were without Nurk in the Magic game as we were without him in the Heat game. Nurk's important to this team, isn't he?
Yeah, for Nurk, sorry. Nurkic really brings that interior presence, especially in this game, where I believe that center from the Magic, what's his name? Gogi.
Oh, Goga.
Goga. How do you pronounce his last name? I couldn't get it right, even in the post games.
Bitadze, right? Yeah. From the Republic of Georgia, is it? I think.
Yeah.
He went 8 for 15, 21 points, 16 rebounds. He was playing rebounds. Like a 1990s center out there.
Yeah, it was like I believe it was his career high in terms of rebounding, but you could really see how the Suns missed Nurk on that game because of that dominance shown by Goga.
Goga.
And this just really, boils down to the defensive effort, really. Don't get me wrong. Mason Plumlee has been doing a fantastic job at the center, backup center position. But there's just something about Nurk, a big body, really thick. Am I allowed to say it's really thick? Really thick.
Oh, yeah. You like a thick center, right? A nice thick cut center. Center cut.
Thick center, and that can really.
We know that Hamble was a big booty guy for a long time too.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you could really see Nurkic I mean, you could really miss Nurkic's presence down low.
Well, and I think it speaks to kind of exactly what Gav was getting at with when this team's missing Kevin Durant, the effort and at least the energy level, at minimum drops off. You would think the Magic, without their two best frontline guys, would be missing something here. Instead, the Magic, they hone their game on defense now. They're big, they're long, and they'll rough you up. I mean, what they have, what's his name? Well, he didn't even play in this game. Jonathan Isaac coming off the bench for him. He's one of the better perimeter and interior defenders in the game. The Magic just know how to rough people up. And I guess without somebody like a Nurk, without somebody like KD on the team, they just go to their bread and butter. Gav, what is the Suns' bread and butter without Kevin Durant right
now? Lack of energy.
And that's what we rely on to try and win games.
And we're feasting on it. We're feasting.
Yeah, we're feasting on it. It's this game here. When you play a team like Orlando, and you're spot on about the defense thing, that team just grinds. They grind on the defensive end, and they want to make everything as difficult as possible. And when you've got a team like ours last week that isn't playing with energy, it's always going to end badly. And I could tell halfway through the game that we were in serious trouble in that game, just based on the energy. We weren't willing to match the intensity that they had. What's our bread and butter? Look, we move the ball well. I think the outside shooting's been quite good. I love the corner three stuff. That's been a real positive. But the fact is, if you're going to play that style of game, you have to be hitting those shots. And if you're not, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Boyd, any takeaways from this game?
Oh yeah, this game. Well, you got to take into account. Yeah, they were missing Franz and Paolo, but they had that fucking future Hall of Famer Jalen Suggs. Is it Suggs? Old Suggy boy.
You're a Suggs guy.
Look, he's obviously judging by that performance he's untouchable because he had us in a spin. Like, yeah, again, exactly what you guys were talking to before is it comes down to effort, energy, give a fuck, and when you've got a guy that heats up like that, and you're not fucking adjusting to it, even without Bud, if you're not adjusting to it and getting in that fucker's jersey every time he's running that ball up the court, well, you fucking have a big L coming to you. And we certainly got that. Fucking great times.
And I think what we've noticed too, especially with this team, is that as much as we wanted to, as much excitement as we had when we acquired Kevin Durant and then Bradley Beal, it also made us older. And the teams that give us the biggest frustrations that are kind of those, I don't want to say bad teams because the Magic aren't a bad team, but teams like the Spurs last year, they're a very athletic young team, and they had a winning record against only us. Like, youth and energy is our kryptonite right now. So you either are going to beat us just by being better, or you have a chance if you play your more athletic younger guys, because that can give us a lot of fits. But
Jake,
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Jake, what I will say is they've got their stars out. And they've got that next man up mentality that we had when we had that team a few years ago that made a championship run. That next man up mentality, which we just over the last couple of years, and I don't know what it is with how the ego is split, but when we have guys out, the next man up mentality isn't there. Like you think about it, all these fucking no names, we always get one no name that'll fucking burn us, right? On any given night. It just happens. But what I've noticed is that like teams like this, like the Orlando Magic, even they've got their two top guys out, and everyone they're still fucking got a little bit of fuel to burn. There's carryover from their success. It just feels like as soon as we have someone drop out, KD usually, we just fucking fall off a cliff. We just don't have that next man up mentality.
Well, I think what was certainly perhaps the most frustrating is that this was a game that very much felt like the Suns were playing with their food. Looking at the percentage breakdowns, for example, the Suns shot 47% overall, 46.4% from three, over 86% from the line. The Magic shot 47% overall, 33% from three, and 63% from the line. You would have thought, just based on the shooting splits, that we're coming away with it. Because, again, if they lean on defense and they're missing Paolo and Franz Wagner, I know we're out without KD and Nurk, but you would think that those two guys mean a lot more to their team. It just wasn't the case. And so it was frustrating to see. But the good news is we can move forward because we had a long time between games thanks to the NBA Cup. And then all of a sudden, people started getting healthy again.
They go to Kevin Durant. Out to Durant. Here's his three.
And
here goes a flash, savage slam dunk, rebound with the sound of this welcome funk. Bossy and bees.
Like that quick switch I did there when I messed up the first time there. Yes, Yusuf Nurkic and Kevin Durant back, and Bradley Beal out. But let's just focus on the win so far. But the Phoenix Suns go into Utah and get the win, 134-126. It did get a little close towards the end, but I don't know. It didn't feel like it was actually ever getting that close. Was my kind of takeaway. What'd you guys think?
I think it was pathetic. Yeah, we had KD back.
You're going to be all negative on this win? We've turned it around.
Hey, here's what I'm expecting. All right, KD's back.
Please don't say blowouts. We've had like one blowout this year.
I know we've had one, but that's what I'm expecting, that, especially against this fucking level of competition.
Okay.
Look at them. We made these guys a game. It's the whole Jalen Suggs thing. Good thing fucking they've got that future Hall of Famer, All NBA Jordan Clarkson out there, because he kept it close.
I like how you always pick like not their best player, but like second or third best guy to be like future Hall of Famer on their team.
Hey, it could have
Laurie
been
Marketing? No, Clarkson. Gonna go with Clarkson.
Well, yeah. Well, look, I'm serving my narrative here now too, aren't I? Really? And it's the best way to do it, Jakey. But yeah, look, again, we it's not back yet, that the defense that we're going to need moving into the second half of the season. It's not back yet. The only difference having KD back in this instance was the fact that we got our high octane offense back and we're able to mask their fucking. What did they score? 124 points. Fuck.
Yeah, we weren't playing a lot of defense. 126. But Gav, let me turn it back to you because so obviously as Boyd points out, the offense was clicking a little bit more. Quick rundown. We were shooting strong, almost 53% overall, 49% from three, 90% from the free throw line. Durant finished with 30, Booker 34 points, Tyus Jones 19. That kind of rounds out the top guys for the Suns. So the offense was clicking. That allows the role players to focus more on defense. We didn't really see it necessarily in this game because the Jazz just went strangely hot from three. Is this kind of the formula? Is it Durant unlocks the offense so the role players and maybe even Book and others can play more defense? Is that kind of what we see when Durant's out, that then the offense staggers so we don't have the, because we're asking the Royce O'Neals to become offensive weapons?
Yeah, no, I don't. Look, Durant certainly makes the floor seem far more spread. And those role players get the opportunity to contribute on the offensive end. On the defensive end, again, it's our defense that last night wasn't that great. This is the tough one. So I'm not going to go full Boyd on this. I'm going to lean more into what you said there before, Jake. Utah got hot, and some of the shots they were making, and some of the shots they were making were ridiculous. And same Book was making the same ones at the other end of the floor. They were defended shots. We had our contested shot number yesterday was actually quite solid in comparison to what we've had in previous games. So we were out there defending them. It's just they were nailing shots and they were nailing tough shots. overall, we had to make sure that we did the same thing, and we did. So I don't think it's as bad as what Boyd thinks it is. We certainly looked like we had the game under control, and they weren't going to continue to hit that every single time. Hit the shots that they were hitting every single time anyway. But yeah, look, ideally we want to beat Utah by 20, of course. But they caught fire. And Jordan Clarkson, Boyd brings up Jordan Clarkson. I don't know why, but every time he steps on the floor against a Phoenix Suns jersey, that bloke just catches fire. Can't hit a shot all year, and all of a sudden he comes out and has bloody 30 every time. John Collins was really, really solid. He's had a really good season. And he was hitting those shots. Book was defending him. Look, end of the day, we got the win. We did what we had to do to win the game. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. The Jazz were pretty healthy too. I mean, John Collins, Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler were all playing. As you mentioned, Jordan Clarkson, had 23 points. John Collins, 22, 6 and 6. Lauri Markkanen had 19 and 6 rebounds. Walker Kessler, 17 points on 7 of 11 shooting. And
that bloke hit threes, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that was a surprise. 2 of 2. So I don't know, Kevin, what do you think about this Jazz team? Because as much as I'm kind of in agreement with Boyd, I mean, you're looking at a team that, is 5-19. All the sports analysts are saying they're sellers at the trade deadline. They want to offload these guys. Personally, I look at it and I say they've got a lot of talent. They just don't really have much of a system. I mean, Lauri Markkanen is a good player. John Collins, we've been linked to forever, it seems like, as a Suns franchise, and I'm kind of glad we never have gone that direction. Walker Kessler, a lot of Suns fans would love a Walker Kessler. Jordan Clarkson, we've loved talking about him as coming to Phoenix at some point. They have pieces that I think are competing every night because they realize, hey, this is the last chance maybe to try and build their own value before free agency or a trade. So I think they're still playing hard. But what do you think? Should we have blown these guys out more, or do you think, hey, they've got some guys that are desperate enough to try and take out a top team?
Well, I think it's a mix of both. Playing for added value. Some of these guys are going to hit free agency or the trade deadline as well, like you've mentioned. And I think, if you beat a healthy Phoenix Suns team, it's news, right? So it's an added motivation for them.
That's one of the drawbacks of having somebody like Kevin Durant. It doesn't matter what your record is as the Phoenix Suns. It's, we beat Kevin Durant.
We beat those three, and they were it was their night offensively. They were hitting shots left and right. I didn't personally see this game live because I was at a wedding. But Walker Kessler, based off the tweets that I'm reading, especially from our good friend Gerald Bourget of the PHNX, he didn't make any 3-point shots, going into this game, and then he goes 2 for 2. So it was just their night.
Gerald came under a little bit of fire. Did you see that? Was that a week or so ago?
I didn't see that. I didn't notice.
It was your traditional Suns fans very upset that he wasn't asking the tough questions.
Yeah.
And Gerald didn't want to play nice anymore. Like, Gerald, that's not like you.
You could understand. He explained it during our episode, but you could kind of understand, but yeah, I think in this league, no matter what the record of a team is, you can't really just blow off teams anymore. There's just so much talent.
I agree. There's some I feel like you can do that too. But I think if you have teams that have players that are playing for their next sizable contract, then it's going to be harder. Those are the ones that you can't give a puncher's chance to because they'll take it. But Boyd, you break it down. You're the one that said this should have been a blowout.
Okay, yeah, we're contesting it. We're contesting more shots, Gavin. That's fair. But it's not just, this isn't just a fucking isolated thing. It's every single fucking game against a lesser opponent, especially. It's just fucking all these fucking fires that get set by these subpar players, and it's what I like to call what we're not doing, we're lacking that get in their ass defense where you fucking get right up in there. You can smell what they had for breakfast. You are so far in their business. And that's what we don't do. So, yeah, we can fucking contest a shot, but are you really fucking in their ass? Are you really contesting it?
Well,
feels like we're passengers.
We had Josh Okogie. We had Josh Okogie and Ryan Dunn both defending Jordan Clarkson on that rotation when he came onto the floor, and both were in his ass. But that dude, he was having one of those games.
I won't. It wasn't every possession that they were on Jordan Clarkson, but I will say, yeah, I wish that the rest of the team did more of what Okogie and Ryan Dunn do. But there seems to be a proximity problem with the rest of our fucking players when it comes to defending these fucking no-name fucks who want to light
So
up.
we talk about KD and his importance to the defense. He had the most points scored directly against him in defensive plays yesterday.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I haven't looked that far into the numbers, mate.
The top two were KD and Book.
Well, they're playing probably more than everyone else as well. Yeah. So, yeah, there's always going to be a certain element of that, I suppose. That's probably a game to game is probably going to be a similar sort of story gap. But just the eye test.
Yeah, potentially.
Just the eye test. There's a lot of these shots that were, as you say, contested. But I just feel like, there just wasn't that much heart or energy and effort still. A lot better than what it has been, I will say, but not where it needs to be. Mate.
I'm not your mate.
I'm not your fucking mate either.
This is why it's called a hostile takeover. But let's go grab a drink.
What's the name of that nightclub of yours again?
You talking about the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah, the Boom Boom Room. That's it.
All right. So, as I mentioned, I'm drinking a nice hot tea, trying to feel a little bit better today. What do you guys got next to you? I seen Gav. Are you drinking what is it? A Carlton Dry. See, I kept thinking you were drinking Coronas.
No Mexican beers today.
And Boyd, what do you got there?
I have a Nescafe Blend 43 coffee.
Oh gosh, what a little sissy boy!
I have a sweetener. I have a couple of sweetener and just a touch of milk.
Well, you want to be up in the guy's ass, don't you? I thought you wanted to for breakfast, and you're like, just touch of milk, a little bit of sugar, just a little sweetness.
Before I get into others' asses, yeah, I have something a bit stiffer. I will say. I will say that, Jake.
All right.
And it's possibly the worst fucking cup of coffee you could ever drink in your life. It's horrific.
Is that freeze dried?
Yeah, freeze dried crap coffee. It's basically what you idiots in America drink.
What? No,
horrible.
No,
horrible coffee.
No,
horrible.
You take that back. So we haven't had that since like the 80s, and everyone wanted to work on like Wall Street. And
nobody's had that since the 80s. The jar that Boyd uses is still from the 80s. He actually got a whole heap delivered to him for free from somewhere when they got rid of it, and he's just got them stored in his garage out the back.
Beggars can't be choosers, mate. Beggars can't be choosers.
Kev, what are you drinking? Anything?
I'm an old school, just water.
You gotta stay hydrated, especially when you're trying to wrangle kids.
Hey, Kev, your sabbatical when because Jake told me that you were on a sabbatical recently.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a religious thing that the old Europeans used to do, where they fucking walk like 100 miles to find themselves or something like that.
No, that's just a term like No, we just use that term. But basically, I'm just on vacation. Just vacation.
Okay, cool. Sabbatical. It sounds very religious. That's all.
Yeah, he's not on a pilgrimage.
No.
I love it though.
That's what it is. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Why isn't Kevin on the show anymore? He's on a pilgrimage. He's still going to do the sensual salute from the road while he's hiking. But
that would have been cool. That would have been cool as fuck.
Oh my goodness.
Kev, what time is it there? This is a nice time for you, isn't it?
It's 8:47 a.m.
Okay. Do you prefer this early morning, or do you prefer the midnight shows?
I'd prefer the midnight shows because everyone's asleep.
Oh.
And,
Gav, what is the Carlton Dry? What, like?
Just a nice crisp lager, my friend.
Okay. Between that and 4X bitter, what's better?
No, this is way better than 4X bitter.
Okay. Well, then I'm sorry.
Again,
I ordered the wrong one for you that day. I ordered the wrong one. But let's talk about what Mr. King Nacho has been just dying.
Oh, can you not put it on? Like, seriously. Get a life, dude. Fuck's sake.
I think he wants us to talk about one Mr. Bradley Beal.
My name is
What has become an amazing situation for this team is how quickly the Suns fans are, hey, Beal's okay. He's just got to fit inside the system. Hey, he's doing all right. He's a good player. Hey, Jimmy Butler wants to come here, maybe. Okay, get out of here, Bradley. We're over you. Bye. Have you ever seen the Suns fans turn against their own so quickly?
Oh, are you fucking serious? It's an absolute weekly occurrence. Ask Yusuf Nurkic whether or not the Suns fans can turn on.
God, he's loving this Jimmy Butler stuff right now.
Ask poor old DeAndre Ayton what he thought when the Suns fans turned on him. Like, fucking hell. We are the kings in Suns Twitter land of turning on people in seconds. To be honest, Devin Booker's been struggling. Do you know what I've been reading all over Twitter? That we should consider trading Booker for Butler. Like, my God. Our Suns fans are just ridiculous sometimes.
Throw in a second rounder. They'll take it. They'll totally take it. I love the armchair NBA 2K trade GMs. They're like, well, in 2K, they took the deal. But let's break down a little bit. Bradley Beal and, I'll put it, there's a little bit of conspiracy out there, right? But there was a walk around, shoot around, a little practice that they had before the Jazz game. And he left a little bit earlier. They were saying a little knee swelling. They thought maybe he could kind of ice it down, be ready to go. Ended up not quite taking, so they decided to keep him out. He was there. Some Suns Twitter was like, he's not there. He's not even there. That must mean he's being traded. He sat just behind the bench because you're not going to put him on the bench because he's not going to go into the game at all. But so he's just behind the bench. And let's start with.
Well, we've had the same thing today too, Jake. So Suns had shoot around today and Bradley Beal left early before everybody else. So that's now all over Twitter that Bradley Beal left early, which when you've got a little bit of knee soreness, when you've got a little bit of knee soreness and some swelling, it's very common to leave training early.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he actually showed up, I think, is a good sign that he actually decided to try and do shoot around. But yeah, I guess if he left early, who knows? He might be Miami bound.
He's on a plane as we speak. That's what my sources are telling me.
What? Let's be critical of Mr. Beal for a moment. I'm a fan of his, but even I can admit he's had a tough year, as has a lot of our guys in different stretches. Book's had a kind of up and down, I'd say almost more down from what our expectations are type deal. Yusuf Nurkic kind of similar, has been bit by the injury bug. Beal, we knew, had a bit of an injury history. Since he's come to Phoenix, played 53 games last year, averaged just over 18 points, just over 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have a very nice shooting stroke, 43% from 3. So that was actually career high for him last year, as I'm taking a look at the numbers now. Coming into this year, he's played in 15 of the games, averaging 17.8, so 0.4 off his usual mark, 4.2, so his rebounds are down 0.2, only 3.3 assists. That's the biggest difference right there. That's down 1.7. Shooting stroke, shooting numbers. Yeah, he's down 2% overall. He's down 7% from 3-point land. I don't think there's going to be a lot of argument that says we should have kept Chris Paul, because I think we all agree that that contract was tough. And when you have an opportunity to get multiple-time All-Star Bradley Beal, you do it, right? So let's just focus in on what grade would you give Bradley Beal for his time here in Phoenix? Boyd, let's start with you. You're quick off the
I'll give him a B.
A B.
I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B. I'm leaning towards a B plus, and it's only because he's the guy who's been thwarted into a position that's not in his comfort zone and not what he's been used to doing the last, 12 years. So he's and also like he's there's also the element which I thought would be worked out a lot quicker is the and a lot of people spoke about it, but we sort of
not happy about this.
we just convinced ourselves that it wasn't going to be an issue, but the overlapping talents that he has, that Booker has, and it's sort of working simultaneously, I suppose. It's hasn't really sort of played out. He's done a lot better when he's played with the second unit, with them second unit guys, and when his minutes are staggered that way, he looks better. But then when we've just got that overlap, it's just like, oh, who's in the corner? I think last game that they played together, there was a play where they'll Book and fucking Bill were both sitting in the same corner, that top corner, just fucking like, oh shit, you're here. Well, I thought I was here. So yeah, it's just that's been an issue. But yeah, I think his effort has probably been better than Booker's overall. He's just limited in that third fiddle sort of a role. But yeah, I'll give him a B.
Okay. Gav, you've been a fan of Bradley, haven't you?
I have been and still am. I think that, okay, so if I roll back to the back end of last year when we were screaming for leadership, the only person who stood up and showed any leadership was Bradley Beal. He had a poor playoffs. Not going to argue that. Both him and Nurkic were really, really poor. But once again, and Boyd hit the nail on the head there, he's come in and is expected to play a completely different role, given the fact that he is coming off the injury. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is reasonable that Suns fans are on edge about Bradley Beal's position and everything he does. And that is based solely off the contract that he has and the fact that he has a no-trade clause. But as the third player in that big three, averaging 18 points a game, you said there before his assists are down, Jake, this year. Mm-hmm. They absolutely are, but the ball isn't in his hands as much either because we bought Tyus Jones in. So we're not expecting Bradley Beal to have 8 to 12 assists in a game now. Bradley Beal needs to have 3, 4, 5 assists, but he needs to up that scoring piece. That's what we need Bradley Beal to do. The challenge for Brad at the moment is that Royce O'Neal is doing that, not Bradley. And we need Bill to be able to do that. But he's got to get on the floor and be on the floor consistently. Now, as for the trade rumors, great. If it plays out, it plays out. And Michael just put in there, logistically, Butler fits better than Bill. He does. Jimmy Butler is a much better fit to the way this roster is constructed. But again, we've got to remember that we have that Bill contract, and it's not going to be an easy one to pass on. But sitting there and raining shit down on Bradley Beal when he's out there doing his job as the third piece in that rotation is the wrong way for us to look at it. If the trade gets done, great. I think Butler will be amazing. But if it doesn't, we've got Bradley Beal. So what we need to do is ensure, or as fans, we have to hope that Bradley Beal fills that role. I've seen this, Bradley Beal's washed and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course, Bradley Beal's not who he was 10 years ago. He's not the all-star Bradley Beal. But what he can contribute as that third player on the floor spread is going to be really, really exciting come playoffs if he could stay healthy. And that's what I'm looking for. If this big three are healthy coming into the playoffs next year, I think there's with the pieces that we've got around them in comparison to last year, I think that we're going to see a completely different Bradley Beal come playoffs this year.
So what was your grade for him again?
A B.
A B. Okay. And Kev, what about you?
Well, everything, they pointed out everything that I was gonna say, but I'm gonna give him a B. But I would like to add that the timing of the rumors involving Jimmy Butler, they're
Yeah.
great, but I think a lot of the Suns fans are just like looking for an scapegoat in all the situation. So
That's why I'm
As we do.
just loving this time right now.
yeah,
As we do.
for real. But yeah, let's just all chill out, and what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm going to give him. I was torn, but you guys actually convinced me. I was going to go B minus. I'll give him a solid B though too. It's he can't control if he's injured or not, and you want to see an aggressive Bradley Beal because sometimes Book and Durant love just to drive it right in towards the about 15 feet from the basket and then turn around and hit a fadeaway jumper, and that doesn't get you to the free throw line. It doesn't really change. It's a tougher shot than an open three or closer to the basket. Beal will actually drive and try and take it. And unlike Eric Gordon last year, who we used to scream at the TV, or at least maybe it was just me, every time he went in, and then he'd do that, and somebody would lay him out every time, and the refs would be like, "Eric, what are you doing? You don't belong here."
Or he'd take that 4-step back from the 3-point line, 3-pointer attempt with 5 seconds off the shot clock.
Yeah, exactly. So I like Bradley Beal's game. I think it can work. It's obviously been frustrating, but as Suns Fever gives him a C+. King Nacho, as we've seen, not a fan right now. Michael Evans gives him a C+. But this is what it comes back to. I like Beal, but I don't know if I like him for $50 million a year.
That's the crux, right? That's the crux of all of it.
If I told you the Suns, we have a guy on the Suns that is scoring 17.8, over 3 assists a game, over 4 rebounds, and shoots 50%, and he's on a minimum contract, would you be like, oh my God, we're doing it?
It'd be the greatest signing of all time.
Exactly. I mean, I think this is why nobody ever points fingers at Tyus Jones. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, obviously.
Tyus also doesn't turn the ball over ever.
Right. No, exactly. Tyus Jones is like, he would be, oh gosh.
He is easily the best minimum contract in the NBA.
I think so, yeah. Right now, he's scoring just over 12 points a game, 7 assists. He has 1 turnover for every 7 assists. Shooting 43% from 3, which actually, wow, right now is a career high for him. So, yeah, there's really not much to complain about with Tyus Jones. But I think, it'd be interesting if we didn't have a Kevin Durant or Beal. Would people be like, well, Tyus needs to do more? Tyus needs to do more because he's shooting so well. He needs to do even more. I think that's the problem, and it's tough because Beal, was worth that money to the Wizards. We never signed him to that. We probably wouldn't have, and he's got the no trade clause, which is so rare in the NBA anymore, and who knows if it'll ever really start coming back again. But I think that's why it's so easy to kind of, as you guys point out, look for that. Scapegoat, look for the off ramp. But yeah, let's talk Jimmy Butler.
But Butler's the important piece of this, right? That's what's driving the conversation.
Yeah, nobody's saying offload Bradley Beal for Najee Marshall or something random. That's a guy, right?
It is a guy.
No, we want Jimmy Butler.
He's a player.
Actually, you know what's funny? Okay. So this
year, I take Najee Marshall. He give us that hustle on defense. So
that's right. Finally, we got.
Can we talk about the rumors about Najee Marshall being traded for Beal?
Well, how about this? It sounds like we like Jimmy, but 17.8 points, 4.2 rebounds, 3.3 assists. That's Bradley Beal's numbers. Jimmy Butler is 18.6, 5.3, and 4.7. So box score wise, not a whole lot different. We know he plays a different role though for this team. So there's a lot that would have to happen. The Heat would have to be obviously okay with taking on a guy whose contract does not expire at the end of this year. He's locked in for at least next year, right? Is it 2 more years?
Who, Jimmy Butler?
Player option.
No, Bradley. Like Miami.
Brad's got 2 years. Brad's
two
got
more
2
after
years.
this. Yeah.
2
So
years,
a $50+ million contract on a guy that everyone agrees is not who he was 5-6 years ago. Still very good. You have to be so tired of Jimmy Butler, I feel like, to do this. He's got a Beal would bring his no trade clause with him too. I don't really see it happening, but let's get out of the is it likely, is it not likely? Do you pull the trigger, Bradley Beal, Jimmy Butler, Boyd?
Yes. And it's because of what Butler brings in that PJ Tuck. It's not the points. I don't want the third element of our big three to be a big scorer or a big blocker or give me 1,000 assists. I just want him to be that iron sharpens iron type of mentality that we lost with Chris Paul, with the Jay Crowders, with the PJ Tucker types. That's the type of guy, but he does it on a whole different level to these other guys. He is a fucking in your face. He's that get in your ass guy. That I
was gonna say, is he in your ass? Yeah. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. That's who he is, and it's you saw the way he actually, and if he comes here and it's not fucking fixable, we'll see.
I love this that Juan Carlos is out in nature camping with his kids, and you want to be Jimmy Butler's an in your ass type guy, or JC.
But yeah, so look, that's exactly what the team needs, and it's what we've seen when Durant hasn't been there, and having Butler there as a consistent. He's going to miss games. So is Bradley Beal. But what he'd do is that I think he could strike enough fear into this team from the sidelines because he's that guy, like similar to Chris Paul. So I love it. And look, at the end of the day, we're looking at a contending window here. I don't care that Bradley Beal's 4 years younger. I don't care if we have to re-sign Butler for basically what we're already tied into Bradley Beal for. I don't care about that shit. I just care about what he brings and what he can instill into others, competitive-wise. Mate.
Okay. Gab, you take the trade?
Yes, but I take the trade for different reasons. Number one, I take the trade if it's there and it's available because Boyd was spot on. Jimmy Butler's about the mentality. He's about that life. He's going to be a guy that gets in the faces of his teammates and try to drive excellence, similar to what Chris Paul did. And we know what Chris Paul did. He took the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals. But the major reason I would take the trade is because even if Butler plays out this season and then pisses off on the open market and free agency, that fixes all of the salary cap issues.
Yeah.
It basically opens everything back up. We would drop to under the first apron if Jimmy Butler left in free agency at the end of the year. And Jimmy, I still think that the Suns are a shot at the championship this year, but I think Jimmy probably gives us a little bit of a better chance again. So that's why I'd take it, even if he walked at the end of the season, because I just want that championship.
I like what you guys are talking about in terms of kind of the harkening back to Chris Paul. I think there's some players that know how to, because Chris Paul was never really a get in your face and yell at you type guy like a Draymond Green can sometimes do to motivate his teammates. And it's funny because Butler's knock is that he takes games off or he takes plays off sometimes. But honestly, I think he does that more often during the regular season on underperforming Heat teams too. It's like, why wear yourself out right now when you're middle of the road? Nobody's really expecting you guys to make a run. If he came here and was the third option behind Kevin Durant and Booker, I get the feeling he wouldn't take a lot of plays off, or he would not be happy to allow anyone younger than him to be taking plays off. And he'd probably be getting up in their face as well. But I say that, but first off, Kev, I want to ask you take the trade and why or why not?
I think I would, just for all the reasons that the guys have already said. Excuse me. Jimmy Butler brings that grit that we have been sorely missing from the older guys such as Chris Paul, as mentioned, and Jay Crowder. So I think when you see these games that the Suns have been losing, they are being roughed up defensively. So we have to have that kind of guy on our side as well. That's no uh, shot at Beal. Obviously, he's a good player, but I feel like Jimmy Butler is I think he's a better fit overall next to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Just doing the dirty work, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, we've kind of seen the role of the enforcer. Go the way of the dodo bird in the NBA. Understandably, you need to be able to shoot. You need to be able to shoot from distance, and if you can't do that, you need to massively excel at just about everything else to be able to have a role. You can't just be the hard foul guy, hard foul, hard defense kind of guy. You need to bring some more. I actually came across an article. I think it was from the what was it? The Athletic today that was calling the Houston Rockets this era's version of the bad boy Pistons. And I thought, that's interesting. Not so much because I haven't watched too many of the Rockets games, but I could figure nobody was going to classify the Phoenix Suns as this era's, this year's bad boy Pistons. It's just not our style of play. Not that we have to, but it is a little bit frustrating that I think with this current lineup, we are considered much more of a finesse team. And we're not really interested in getting a lot of contact. That was kind of what plagued the 7 seconds or less team as well, is that we wanted to draw fouls. And D'Antoni would actually say, try not to foul them. Just let them take a shot. If they miss it, great. Get out and run. Don't send them to the line. So we've kind of seen this. It's been our knack for 20 or so years. We just don't seem to want to have the Dylan Brooks, Draymond Greens. Of course, these are most guys that we don't like. But if they were on our team, we probably would like them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Jose Alvarado. Yeah. That kind of stuff. So it sounds like we're all united. We would definitely take that trade. Well, interesting. So one thing I did want to flash out too.
Flash it. Do it.
Flash it.
Do it. Don't hold back.
No, it's just that Yusuf Nurkic, like I said, is got to be loving this right now because nobody's talking about just 12 points and 7 rebounds for Yusuf Nurkic last game. It was a win. But does this, I think you guys have talked about it. It's been talked about on Suns Jam. Are the fans just, we're always on edge, aren't we? Like, we just came off of a 3-game losing streak. We beat the Jazz, but somehow, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, all right track again. I'm not like, now Boyd, maybe you're not because you were like, should have been a blowout. I'm still frustrated. But I'm like, KD's
I'm
back.
a couple of games away.
Okay.
I'm a couple of games.
You want to see?
I want to be there.
Yeah, it's a fun spot.
I'm just not getting. Hey, I've been like this for years, man. I've been that positive guy. I've been that fucking. But I've had nothing for a long time.
You're the so says Jay of Aussie Suns fans, yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Now he's a negative bitch.
Yes.
Now he's the Dane.
Well, I was given a nice shiny thing a couple of years ago, and then it doesn't fucking work. I just found out it needs batteries, and there's no fucking batteries in sight. So
you wouldn't buy them.
My dildo needs batteries, boys. It needs long lasting batteries.
You're spot on. You're spot on about Nurk though. Look, the Nurk's biggest problem is his mistakes are so blatantly poor, but everything else is solid. But when he makes the mistakes, they're just right out there for the world to see. Like his start to the game yesterday was that first 4 minutes of the game. I'm just sitting there going, Nurk, you are doing yourself zero favors here. He did the wide open turnover, like rolling to the rim and then tried to throw the ball back over his shoulder and turned it over. He got 2 quick fouls. Then he didn't close out on Walker Kessler's second 3. He just left him out there to shoot it. And I went, oh my God, mate, this is your problem. This is why you are giving everybody anxiety about your performance.
Yeah.
But after that, he was solid. He
I was
played a
going to
pretty
say,
solid
did you
game.
see those blocks and dunks?
Yeah.
And
So Nurk, one thing I noticed, with Nurk is that when he's, I think the offense was a lot different last season and suited his playmaking a lot better. It was a little bit slower, I think. And I think that when he forces his hand to try and be that guy, obviously he's seen a young Iguodaro carve it up, and he's got that quicker decision making, and he's that getting them 2 or 3 assists a game. And I think Nurk still wants to do that, but when he sort of pulls back and he plays within himself offensively and doesn't try and rack up them assists, he doesn't turn the ball over as much, obviously. And I think he just settles into a big man's game more. And I think if he keeps this line, that's the best Nurk that we need. I think he had 1 turnover yesterday. That first one. Someone just said, "Oi, fuck Nurk, don't do that shit again." Talk to me.
Two, yeah. But yeah, no, I hear you saying, yeah, that first one, they stand out. He's just moved slower, so it's a lot easier to find him. Side note, when's the last time you guys seen your boy Cable?
Cable!
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Welcome, Cabes.
Hey, Jake, you need to get on that guy's podcast. He does the sequels podcast I was telling you about.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to. You're the movie buff here. You guys need to link up. I've been saying this for a while, and you keep on not fucking listening to me.
I watched a movie once.
Someone send a direct message to the other one. And
Suzanne!
Sorry, you said somebody who doesn't keep listening to you. I didn't hear the rest. Let's talk about the Shazam Player of the Week. As we talked about the Miami Heat loss, the Magic loss, but we did have that Jazz win. Kev, who would you give the Player of the Week to?
Well, I didn't see the game much yesterday, like I said, but I'm gonna just base off the whole week in general. I'm gonna go Royce O'Neal.
Okay. You want to expand on it, or are you good with that?
Let me pull up the stats a little bit. Here we go.
Are you immediately regretting your decision, or
No, I'm not. So Royce O'Neal passed 3 games, 17 points, 16 points against Orlando, had 23 against Miami, which was his new career high. So oftentimes we see him out there, especially in this loss, as that he's the one that gives a fuck about the game. So I give it to him.
Over like 55% from 3.
Yeah, he's really hot, not as a person, but as a player. He's had that. He's in a great stretch here in terms of shooting.
Yes, absolutely. Royce O'Neal, good choice. Okay, yeah. He had, I'll break it down real quick for you. So, yeah, you talked about the Heat game, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Next, Magic's 16 points, 7 rebounds. And then coming back for that vengeance game against the Jazz, 17 points, 5 of 9 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. All 3 were starts. Royce O'Neal.
Vengeance game?
Yeah, you remember? He was like the third man with the Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell trio. Like they were trying to put him up a little bit for a while.
Yeah, he and Booker had run into each other like a couple of times during those stretches.
Oh, did they? Well, because I just remember it was similar to Yusuf Nurkic. People forget this. He used to be like the third man for the Portland Trailblazer teams. It was like CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, and they're big man in the middle, and they'd always like talk about him, a big rebounder, and he was doing well in the paint, interior scoring. And so, but then the playoffs would come and he would fall apart, or he had injury, bugs, that kind of stuff. Royce O'Neal was kind of the same with the Jazz with those, they'd always make the playoffs. They'd end up losing. Rudy Gobert doesn't have an offensive game. Mitchell tries to play hero ball at the end. And Royce O'Neal is just taking and chucking up shots because he was like the only other guy that could potentially hit something for those teams. They were so defensive heavy. But yeah, Royce O'Neal was at one time considered like the 3rd or 4th best player on those Utah Jazz playoff teams. But Boyd, what do you got for Player of the Week? Shazam Player of the Week is what we got now.
I want to give it to Tyus Jones just because 5 from 7 from deep. We've got 2 games to look at, right? So, in the last game with KD back, he
two for us. It's
Yeah.
like 4 for these guys, 3 for these.
true.
13 points in that game against the Heat. The Magic games, 21, 5 for 8 from 3, and 19 points against the Jazz, 11 assists too.
Yeah, no turnovers in this last one too. So, but look, I think he's been fairly consistent even in KD's absence, and obviously contractually he's got less of a limelight on him. But yeah, I just think I haven't found myself there saying, "Fuck Tyus, you fuck." What are you doing, Tyus?
I don't think you'll ever do that with Tyus, though.
No, I don't think
he doesn't turn the ball over.
I don't think we will. But just from my perspective, being so down on this team of late, he's been something that hasn't made me puke lately.
Tyus Jones is like
hasn't made me puke.
He's like Frodo Baggins. Am I right? He's got the one ring, and he's not going to drop it. He's not going to give it to the enemy. He's just going to slowly march all the way to Mount Doom, and you really kind of cheer him on throughout the entire Lord of the Rings. You don't really want to watch much of a story because they're just kind of boring. You want to see the big fight scenes with everybody else. But, you're just like, Tyus got the ring. He's good, man. He's not going to drop it. Tyus going to drop it in the mountain when he gets there. He's definitely not going to mess that up.
What I love about Tyus is that every time he makes a shot, he has that little grin on his face when the camera.
He does. He makes a shot. They didn't think that I could score.
He was certainly a bit like that on in yesterday's games after the 3-2. He was very excited about it.
Gav, who do you got? Shazam Player of the Week.
I am with Kev. I'm going with Royce O'Neal. He carried his role and played his role better than anyone else over the last week or so with Kevin Durant out of the team. He's been hitting those shots. He is, and wait for it because we're on Suns Planet. I know that one of Boyd's all-time favorites. He is a far, far better Jay Crowder. Far, far better Jay Crowder. So Royce, great week. Keep it up, my friend, because if Royce can play basketball like he has over the last week, this team in playoffs is a different team.
All right.
Jay Crowder's taller.
Jay Crowder's a flog and a fake enforcer who is
we're not going
zero.
Who you
Don't
got?
we still have an open roster spot? We could bring Jay Crowder back.
Jay Crowder's already signed. He signed with Dallas or something. Or
Sacramento.
Was it
Sacramento? Yeah, there. Yeah.
Oh,
he signed and then started his next game, something like that. And he was still shit.
Let's see. I'm going to give it to I'm not giving it to Bol Bol, but he did get in the play this week. It was for 5 minutes. So
I wish we were controlling the hosting of this game because you would get your ass booted right now.
This is why don't let Gav do it. Send the link first, Gav. You send the
fact
link.
that idiot even got on the floor is an absolute embarrassment. No wonder we lost those games.
He only played in one of them.
Horrific.
He only played in one of them. But you guys did convince me, actually. You guys picked some great ones. I was leaning towards Book, believe it or not, just because that game against the Jazz was phenomenal. It's amazing what KD does for Booker when he's back, how much better that unlocks. Remember, what was it, like Dario? Was it Dario unlocked campaign or something like that? That was a long time ago. KD unlocks Booker, that is for sure. But I'm actually going to cause a split here. I'm gonna say Tyus Jones. We might need to do a new drop, a new Frodo Baggins. He was our Eric Gordon type guy. We did a drop that made him in Lord of the Rings last year. Glad we don't have him on this team anymore. But we have to think of something like that for Tyus. A nice little drop for him. But I'm going to go with Tyus Jones. Yeah, he just rock solid running this show. But now let's, we get a little edgier in the evening. This is Aussie Suns Fans podcast as well. So fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
So this is a little something that we do at Aussie Suns Fans, where we think about the week, the previous week, and we sit and go, who this week made me just go, you know what? Fuck that guy. Boyd, who made you sit back and think, fuck that guy this week?
Yeah, well, right now it's what I'm really thinking is I'm going to give it to our co-host Nate for he's supposed to fucking be here, man. So fuck that guy. Fuck him.
It was his birthday this week, you fucking shit tank.
Happy
Happy birthday. He doesn't do birthday weeks. You get a birthday, and that's what he should have done. But he's he just he needs to make it up to me. So fuck that guy.
He needs to make it up to you.
He needs
to you, does he?
He's coming. He's coming back to Australia for Chrissy, and he wants to catch up for a round of golf. And we might be catching up for something else as well. Yeah,
mad invite. Yeah, appreciate it.
Is he tall enough to get on the course?
Oh, he's got custom clubs. They're like
they're made for children.
They're like miniature golf putters. And,
I know who Nate's fuck that guy's going to be. It's going to be all of us. Kevin, what about you? You got anyone that made you sit back this week and go, you know what? Fuck that guy.
Some guy from work? No, I'm kidding.
Do it, Kevin. Go off.
No.
Kevin. Do it.
I love my coworkers, but to me,
that guy that got married the other day, that you had to go to his wedding.
No.
And you missed the game of Suns basketball. What sort of person puts a wedding on a game day?
Yeah.
Pull your head in, mate.
No, for me, I don't think I have one this week. Suns player. No, I'm going to pass on.
Doesn't need to be a Suns player. It can be anyone, anywhere that you like. I'll go to Jake. You can think about it. It can be anyone, anywhere in your world that made you sit back and go, fuck that guy.
Jake, that guy.
Yeah.
Who this week made you sit back and go, you know what? Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I'm going to go Jordan Clarkson because, as you guys already alluded to, every single time we played the Jazz, Jordan Clarkson's like, let me see if I can just destroy your dreams. And he comes in there, shoots 8 for 13, comes off the bench, 4 of 6 from 3, grabs 4 assists as well. Jordan Clarkson, if you were on this team, I'd love you, but you're not. So fuck you, man. Quit trying to ruin everything for us. You're not going anywhere. Let the Suns go somewhere. Quit trying to ruin it for us.
Yeah, no, very nice. Kevin, that's how to do fuck that guy.
Okay, fuck that guy in the Magic team as well. Gogi. Looks like fucking Rasputin. He looks like Rasputin.
There's a historical throwback to Rasputin.
Yeah, he does look like it, and he always trash talks like Plumlee whenever match up to him. But yeah,
I love that your fuck that guy is in defense of fucking Mason. That's beautiful. That's paying attention to the intricate details of these fucking players.
Actually, one more player who talks shit to Mason Plumlee is that guy from the Clippers. Kai Jones, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he always talks shit.
You want to fuck that guy too?
Plumlee and Nurk. Yeah. Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. I'm the person who made me sit back and say fuck that guy this week was JJ Redick. I know you watched the show, JJ. So we need to have a discussion. Your podcast was fantastic. I used to love it. The Old Man and the Three, it was great. Your basketball knowledge is there. But you've become a grumpy old fuck since you've become the coach of the Lakers. You sit there. When's LeBron James coming back? Do you know? No. How about you actually pull back a little bit, stop being a fucking sourpuss, and give something back? Because you used to whinge about people not giving something back, and now you're doing that. And it's kind of pissing me off. Fact is, mate, I actually thought you would be one hell of a coach. And at the moment, you're just being a total piece
Cock.
of shit.
Hey,
So
he's trying
you
to be
make me
pop.
sit there and
He's trying
go,
to be
fuck
pop.
that guy. He's trying to be pop. You're
Yeah.
not pop, JJ.
You're not
Be
pop.
JJ. Be JJ. That's all you need to be.
Do you think
And-
JJ's trying
look-
to send us a signal that he's just like really frustrated right now, and he's like,
Oh, look.
get me out of here. I shouldn't be here anymore.
There's no doubt that JJ, no doubt that you're frustrated. But the fact of the matter is, I love that the Lakers suck. That's great. The more the Lakers suck, the better. But, dude, at the moment you're pandering to your players. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what? Step up, be the fucking coach of that team, and own it. And stop being a whiny little fucking bitch that always looks like in a press conference he's trying to take a shit.
Remember, was it Stan Van Gundy when he was with the Magic, and they kept like asking him about Dwight Howard, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if he's going to be, and like he actually started giving a lot back to the press because he was mad. Like Dwight was like putting the whole team, I think, on blast, including the coach and stuff. And he basically was finally ends up kind of just trashing Dwight Howard. And Dwight did not hear it. He just like walks on camera and throws his arm around him. And he's like staring at him like that. Because I think basically Dwight was like, yeah, maybe we need to look at like new coaching or something like that beforehand. And so like that got back to him. So that's maybe what like JJ needs to do. Just like, hey, when's LeBron going to be back? I don't know. I don't know if he's got the stones to come back. He's getting older. Like, it's send a little shit out there. Pushing pride a little.
Call them out. Call them bitches out, JJ. But Suns Fever's always correct again. It's always Luka.
Correct. All right. We don't have who do you want to have a beer with, drop?
We don't have the drop, but we surely have to bring up who we want to have a beer with.
All right. That'll be our last
this
segment.
week.
Yeah.
All right. Jake, who do you want to have a beer with?
Okay, as soon as I take a drink. Who I want to have a beer with? Bradley Beal. I want to check in on the man. As soon as those Jimmy Butler trade rumors came out, it was just like, hey, do we have the contract that sucks enough just for you, Miami Heat? We would love to offload Bradley Beal, who I feel like has, as kind of a collection of all the thoughts from this show. Bradley came from another team, from the Wizards, where he was the number one guy. He was placed in a position to play a little out of position, sometimes point guard, sometimes now kind of like small forward, and asked to be the third best player on a team. He spent his entire career in Washington, and now he's in a dry desert climate. And I think he's done it for the most part with a smile on his face, and he's trying to have fun. And like you see him on social media, he posts about his kids and his family and doing stuff around town and playing video games, that kind of stuff. He just seems like he's never had any ill will towards his team or franchise. He just goes to work, and God dang it, if he wasn't getting paid $50 million, I don't think anyone would ever be able to complain about him.
He's a good dude. Bradley Beal just seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
He'd be a great dude to have a beer with. Yeah,
absolutely.
I like it. What about you, Kev?
Well, I was asked this question before with Lizzie, Matthew Lizzie episode, but I'm gonna stick to my answer. I'm gonna go with Book in this team, and just ask him, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm kidding.
Well, this should be, but since we're this kind of a mashup episode, we should actually add something in here. What would you drink with Devin Booker?
Gosh, that's a great
Let's add a little
question.
twist to it. Not just who would you drink
You
with.
know, Book's top shelf, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, he's a wine guy too.
He's a wine guy.
He'd be top shelf.
Okay, well,
Or you can give him a little Filipino local stuff too, and teach him a little bit.
let's
There
go
you
with a local here. What was it called? It comes from coconut. I forgot what it's called, but let's just throw in some Johnny Walker there.
Ooh, talking.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking with Bradley?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna go standard. We're gonna go like a not a lager. I feel like he'd be open to like a nice amber ale, something a little bit more Christmas time, a little meatier, a little something breadier,
Little fruity, maybe.
No, a little sweet, little malt to it. Like Sam Adams, like the Boston Lager is still a lager, but like around those kind of ale like colors, like a darker beer, but not quite like stout Guinness type stuff. But just something that I can go up there and put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, man, we like you here. We appreciate what you're trying to do." Just
something with a bit of dark cloud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get a yoga class going, man. Stretch out those hamstrings and those legs. Don't get injured anymore.
Well, you can take Boyd with you because he'd be more than happy to give him a rub down.
He'd want to get up in his ass, see what he had for breakfast.
Right up in it. Boyd, who are you having a beer with this week?
So I'm grabbing me box of 4X bitters, and I'm going to lumber up to fucking old Pat Riley up there in Miami. I'm going to rock up into his little Oval Office he's got there on the beach. And I'm going to say, "Hey, mate. Hey, just popping by. How's it going? Yep, cool. Hey, Bradley Beal, look, I've got this cool highlights tape here. This fucking have a go at this." And he's not injured. He's just fucking, we're trying to get everyone else going, and they're all enamored by Bradley Beal whenever he's on the court. So there's nothing wrong with his fucking knee. And then I'm going to be like, "Hey, look, he's a vibes guy. He's got everything that you want here. He's so much younger than he'd fit heat culture. He'd fit heat culture. He'd buy right in.
He
is the epiphany of what heat culture is, and you need him on this team. And don't worry about that.
Did you say epiphany?
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 Did I say it wrong? Yes.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
A little bit.
It's epitome. Epitome.
The epitome?
Not epiphany.
Epiphany is like when you have an idea.
Epiphany is when you have an idea.
I realize that
the epitome is the very description of.
I'd say that he's the epitome of heat culture, and
there we go.
And caused Pat Riley to have an epiphany of what Bradley Beal is to his club.
I love it. I'm trying to like reassure Bradley that if he's here, man, we got your back. Like, we still appreciate you. And meanwhile, you're flying off to Miami to be like, "Pat Riley, take a look at this guy. We can't wait to give him to you."
Yes. Let's go.
So you can keep Bradley busy while Boyd's selling him for the trade.
Like, Boyd's going to have a camera on me like, "See right there, he's having a beer with a fan. Isn't that great? That's like heat culture right there."
Boy, if too many can't see this, mate, we'll be in the front office in no time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all relocating to America next week. I'm going to have a beer with King Nacho because he seriously needs just to hang out with some Aussies for a while, relax, see how to really put a beer inside so that your whole life is not consumed with one player and their results. And you start to look at the bigger picture in life. So King Nacho, when I'm back over there in March, let's catch up. We'll have a beer and I'll show you how it's done.
And what are you buying for King Nacho?
I'm probably going to get him a nice fruity pale ale. Okay. Just because he looks like he needs a little bit of bounce in his life. Just something to make him a little bit happier, feel some of the spirit from the town. We'll stop in at Marley's. We'll grab a couple of nice fruity pale ales, sit there, drink those. We'll walk over together to the Footprint Centre. We'll check out the game. I might even, after a couple of pale ales, get him to cheer for Bradley Beal while we're there. I know it's a stretch, but us Aussies have been known to do some amazing things.
That's right. It's true. You guys bring the happiness. Well, Michael P. says, just send a whole case. We'll say a case of Budweiser, a case of Bud to Bud. He's dealing with a lot right now. That is true. Well, we're getting the same.
By the way, I'm stealing this moving forward, Jake. I'm gonna not only are we gonna have a beer with people, we're gonna talk about what beer we're having with them.
I think
this is moving forward. Yeah,
because it can say a lot. Like, I want to have a beer with this guy and get him wasted on tequila until he can't see straight. Because I don't want him to be my friend. Yeah, you could go.
Yeah, I like it. I'm stealing it. Just to let you know, I'm stealing it now. Here's your credit. Don't ask me for credit later on.
Hey, you're not going to be like Suns Worldwide, right? Not going to snipe my content.
I've already sniped it. I've just told you, clear as day. live on YouTube that I'm sniping the content.
Well, that's better than cash. All right, we got to roll because Kevin's wife is saying, "Hey, what's the deal? You said you're going to just do this for a moment. You need to get back to work." So, so we got to get wrapped up. So, gents, thanks for stopping by. Let the folks know where they can find you, even though they're already watching you on your channel.
At Aussie Suns Fans, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. The great thing about today was that I think we all showed up. And Kevin, I apologise. This is what happens when you jump on with the Aussies. Your 1 hour shows turn into an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's generally what we do. Because when we rock up, we're not here to fuck spiders.
That's okay. No problem.
At Buds83, at Aussie Suns Fans on the Instagrams, and at Fucko on a mystery platform that is not Blue Sky.
There you go. All right, Kev. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, at I'm Kevin PS and Twitter, and you can also catch my own stuff in this channel, the Central Salute post game recaps.
That's right. Have you gents seen the Central Salute yet?
Yeah, damn straight.
Now, have you seen the new intro music?
Oh, that's very sexual.
Yeah,
It seems very sexual.
Have you guys haven't seen it yet? Yeah.
Boyd only gets 10 seconds into the post-game wrap-ups from Kevin now.
I was going to say,
he hears the sexual music and then he's off.
Let me give
the
you
candle,
guys a quick
lights
snippet.
the candles.
Yeah, a little snippet of what Kevin's been offering folks post-game.
Revealing the show on the sensual salute. We both glow, let the passion roar, let the passion flow. In the sensual salute, with the stars you know, watching you know.
Why is Chris Paul in there?
I have no idea. I'm guessing that came from one of those like ESPN like body issues or whatever they were. Like
all I know is I'm very surprised Boyd's still here.
Exactly. I'm surprised I'm not seeing him put lotion into his hand right now. That's impressive.
Yeah, the camera's not bouncing yet.
Exactly.
Don't show that to Book. We're gonna get blocked.
Yeah, exactly. See, poor Kevin has to do that when his wife's asleep, so that he, all the folks that come in and want to get sensual with it's basically like a ladies' man vibe that we've got built up at that point.
It's very sensual. It's very sensual, Kev.
But thanks, man. Great idea by Jake.
Well, alliteration's great. Hanging with Hamo, Central Salute. We've got them. Well, you can follow me at Fallen Founder. I hope I didn't sound too much like a foghorn. I kid you not. I got fluid in my ears the whole thing. Like I could at halfway through the show, you guys sounded
Boyd. What'd you say, Boyd? What'd you say before we came live? What did you not want to hear from Jake?
He's fucking whinging about being sick.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm fine. Follow me at Fallen Founder. Follow us at Suns Planet. Al McCoy, you wouldn't put up with this weak stuff. Take us home, buddy.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay with us as the Suns get set to shine here on their home court.
Here's Perry. Cigar Hurd. Here's the jump shot. Good. It's good.
Al McCoy with you courtside. Pumped up a three.
Shazam. He ties it. ADA. Alan Tim up here.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I know it's the moment. Happy birthday, baby.
Here's Cameron Payne out on top. Durant, three-pointer straight away.
Shazam. I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That pretty much wraps things up here. And for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.